All right, guys, welcome to today's show, and I'm not gonna sugarcoat a thing for you. You see this pond right here? I did not want this pond. Greg Whitstock, the pond guy, came out to my house about 4 or 5 years ago, and he wanted to install a pond, and I pretty much said, Greg, you're nuts. I don't want a pond. I've got not one, but 2, 3 cabins on a lake. A lake, Greg. Why would I want a puddle? Why would I need to puddle in my backyard? What Greg wanted to do originally was install a pond down here. Greg is a freaking phenomenal guy. I love that guy. He is honestly, legitimately one of the greatest resources in the green industry. He puts on this academy called Aquascape, and it has changed so many people's lives, like legitimately changed their lives. And I said, all right, Greg, if we're gonna do this, let's do this big. Let's go big or go home. And we agreed to install this pond. It's a 5-foot deep pond. I've got a swim tunnel through there. I've got a swim tunnel through there. Ed wanted to add waterfalls. None of this was me. This was the Aquascape guys. And today I'm going to take you through the process from start to finish of everything we did. We're gonna back this up. Some of you guys may have seen some of this, but what I'm doing with today's video is I'm putting it all together. So there's no more playing it in order. This is just put it on, get it going in the background, and let it roll. And I'm gonna share some new content with you and some afterthoughts. Now that I've had this thing in my house for what, 3-4 months or so, what my thoughts are, the good, the bad, and the in-between. I'm holding nothing back from you guys. That's not my goal. So let's roll this thing back to when Ed first showed up and this was flat level ground.
So a lot of the downflow is you get a dissolved oxygen drop as it goes deeper and deeper, and it becomes anoxic in the bottom.
Yep.
And then it gets septic.
Okay, so let me ask you something. Do you know what good stuff Maynard means? Guys, I want to introduce Ed the Pond Professor. Ed, how long have you been building ponds?
31 years.
31 years. So Ed and I have been building ponds about the same amount of time. I actually my very first job was a pond.
No way.
Yes.
That's awesome.
But I built completely different ponds, and I waited a year for Ed. I waited a year just for this guy, because it takes someone that knows how to do something to recognize somebody that knows how to do something better than anybody else in the world. And Ed, I consider to be the absolute best pond installer that I've ever met or seen anywhere. So if you ever have a chance to get this guy to come to your site, even if you have to wait a year, it's worth it. Now, Ed is followed up by the most amazing team of people that I've ever known. Think of it this way. If you've ever watched old school Star Trek,
Yep.
Captain Kirk is Greg. Meet Mr. Spock. That's
Perfect.
Is that right?
That's it.
Right? And then there's Sulu, Scotty, and everybody else. And Brian.
I love it.
You guys are the Star Trek team. I mean, and this is Spock. This dude is brilliant. Hands down. I am so pumped, and I'm bringing you guys along for the ride. So you guys are going to get to see how Ed works, and what we are building is going to be a very naturalistic swim pond. I opened this video by saying I did not want this pond, and that was the truth. But now I can tell you that I spend more time working right here than anywhere else in the house. This pond has turned out to probably be the single most satisfying landscaping thing that I've ever done for myself personally, and I could see this for a customer being better than the deck, better than a patio, better than any other thing, because there's just something about coming out here, having a seat, putting your feet in the pond, and watching the fish come right straight up to you and beg for food like a dog. I got my bluegill right there. I got my koi right here. This is better than a lake because I know every single thing that's in this pond. I know their history. They are just like puppy dogs, pretty much. This one's Walter. Ow, and that one's got my toe, and Walter's got my leg. Hi, Walter. Are you just... Hi, buddy. How's my fish? In a lake, you don't do that. But here, you absolutely do. There's just something amazing about a pond. That actually feels really good, guys. Is that pretty sick that it feels good to have your feet nibbled on by fish? Then call me sick. Except when I jump in the pond and clean it, the bluegills come up and bite my nipples. That part I don't like. And yesterday when I was cleaning the pond, I got bit in the nose like 7 times because I'm got my face right up to the pond, and these guys right here, these guys come straight up. Not you, Walter. Get out of here, Walter. Walter, go. Not you, not you, not you. Guys, I'm talking about the bluegills right now. It is pretty awesome. Having a pond is the best single landscaping thing I've done. It's a very big project.
It's a very, very big project. Yeah. I mean, you did calculations. How many yards of soil did you say?
Well, we're taking 51 yards out of the swim pond and 64 yards out of the filtration area.
Yeah. So yeah, you got multiple four or five semi trucks of soil.
Now,
generated.
You actually invented the filtration method that we're going to be using on this. And I'm going to break it down a little bit for these guys. If you ever had an aquarium and you ever had an under gravel filter, now think of that, but reverse flow it.
Reverse.
Yes.
Yeah, and the reason we did the reverse flow was because that filter bed is a living, breathing colony of microorganisms. We want to have high dissolved oxygen going through. So the problem with a lot of the downflow is you get a dissolved oxygen drop as it goes deeper and deeper, and it becomes anoxic in the bottom, and then it gets septic. So ours is the exact opposite. We have high oxygen on the bottom, and then as it gets up closer to the top, you're actually closer to the surface where everything's going to be happening, where you have natural aeration, so we have good oxygen flow going.
So the water will actually come underneath the gravel bed and percolate up and through.
Correct.
And then this week, it's just us.
Just us.
It's just me, Ed, and Zach behind the camera. And what we're going to do is we're going to do the work before the real work begins.
Yeah, what I want to try to do is get some of that infrastructure taken care of so everything goes more efficiently. So you're familiar with everything with construction trades, right? So I don't want to bring a massive team in place and not have people being productive.
Let's go inside and let's show these guys what we're going to build. They always go inside of the house and look at the main focal point because they want customers to be able to enjoy that thing even when they're sitting inside watching TV, right? So you always start inside.
Absolutely. You always start inside because you spend the majority of your time. I mean, here, the upper Midwest, you know, we get cold, we get snow, we get rain. We're going to be sitting in the house having coffee in the morning, but we still want to have that lakefront property and lakefront view. Because that's what I love about this, is it not only looks good, but it has different recreational qualities, sitting outside by the fire. So we want to have visibility from inside. We want to have just an expansive open water coming through here. We also want to have a flow. We call ourselves the pond guys, but in my opinion, we almost create more river systems because we have a flow that goes from one side to the other. And the reason we do that is because we're going to get better water quality. Shallow water on the one side, deep water on the other. Now, the challenge that we have here is your property slopes. Which is very typical. So what we want to do is we want to try to site balance everything. We're going to start digging. We're going to start building up over on the other side. You have access for power over here on the barn. So we'll have our pumps located on that back corner. So that way, when everything's operational, we have water being discharged here. It's going to flow through under your bridge, cut across, and make its way back into the customized skimmer system. And then it's going to repeat the cycle.
Wash, rinse, and repeat.
That's it.
We've got a dual system, one that never shuts off.
Correct.
And then another one that just allows us to feel, you know, a little bit of a kick.
Exactly. So we will have a dual pump system. I like doing that, especially when we start getting into ponds of this scale, because if it's mechanical, something's going to happen.
Yep.
It's just inevitable. You're going to have a pump go down. So that way, if we have two of the pumps that are exactly the same, so if one of them goes down, the other one could take the place of it. So we can kind of play back and forth with that. That same secondary pump is also going to have some underwater jets. So that'll help to push sediment over to our pre-filter area.
What's the next thing we're going to do?
So next thing what we're going to do is we're going to start kind of laying out some of the shapes here. Actually, I think in my notebook I have a couple sketches that I did on our previous visit. I know you did some recent work, so we're going to flop stuff around a little bit, but negligible. You did find, though, some interesting stuff underground, which we always need to address anytime we're doing excavation. You know, any type of underground work, even if it's a plant and a tree, you want to know what's underground. So I'm thankfully you said right away, hey, we may have a potential issue. So that is our issue, and of course it's going right
where we got to go. But we on, what was it, Friday, Zach? Friday we abandoned this.
Okay.
So we pulled this all apart, took everything apart. We still got to be careful doing the excavation because I can't rip it out.
Yep.
But I can cut it and circumvent it, and that way it doesn't become an issue and it won't hold up productivity.
Yeah, and we're probably not going too much past
that point. Yeah, this is where we ended it. I'm like,
yeah, I don't really think we're gonna, because we want to have, you know, for your dogs and everything, we want to have some turf area still. We don't want to take up everything.
Right.
We want to create a dramatic water feature, but we still have to be conscious of some of these other things. So right wherever we want that bridge, if it's going to be 8-10 foot or something like that, so everything will have this big filter bed, and it's going to kind of come through a little funnel. And then what we want to do is I want to have that output. I would almost like to kind of push it a little bit of an angle, because close to the home, we want to make sure that we're sweeping. You don't have any floating debris or anything. So we'll have the output of this filter system going towards the home, and then it's going to kind of make a hard turn back to the pump. So that way we're really kind of, we want to utilize as much of that water flow as possible.
If we were going to divide this job into components, what would those components be at?
So we have the main pond itself, so that open water zone, we'll just call it. That's going to be loaded up with all those big boulders, and connected with that we have the pump pre-filter section. So that's all part of the same piece. Then we're going to have plumbing and piping. Then we're going to have our main filtration system. Then we're going to have the edge treatments and waterfalls. That's it. So we have basically like 5 different main chunks.
Yeah,
of the project. And then finish grading and clean up and whatnot.
Well, this is 2 hours into chunk 1. Tomorrow we continue chunk 1.
Yeah, you got it. That's the big one.
We're going to keep digging, you guys, so stick around. Good morning, one and all. It's the start of day 2. I got the machine fired up. I'm just waiting for Zach and Ed to get here, but it's just going to be setting contours. We've got so many shelves and edges, because as we build these boulders up, we've got to have some place for these things to rest. So all we're going to be doing is prep work, just trying to get everything physically so that we can see how it's going to look when we start to finally get to the end stage where we're actually able to place boulders and put matting in and do all the other work that goes with it. So let's keep digging and keep going. And I hope you have a good day. Hope you're enjoying this video series. Now, when we did the initial dig, this was one of those things that I wish I would have known before I started. We excavated about 125 to 150 cubic yards of soil out of here. We placed it over there, but we really didn't need to remove any soil off from site, because everything we dug from here should have just came right to here during the initial construction. Because at the end of this video, I'm going to show you how I corrected my mistake. It's interesting. I don't want to get ahead of the game, but none of the soil that we took out of this pond needed to leave this zone. all of it should have came straight right to here instead of going out through the gate to then get hauled back in to fortify this slope. So what you're seeing me do right now is one of those initial mistakes that I made during the construction.
You want me to go pick a couple?
Pick whatever you want, Ed.
You want to shuffle them in, Zach, and we could...
Yeah.
Could you lift this corner? It's kind of skinny, and put it like right here. So then it'll kind of angle it down a little bit. It'll follow. This slack has a slope to it, so it should just slide right in there.
What I noticed about working with Ed is he doesn't marry a boulder. He flips it, spins it, spanks it, pops it in place, and calls it good. And if it's not, he moves on.
A little bit further over, down. You got to go that way like 3 more inches. Right there.
He's learned how to read the rocks, which means he spends the least amount of time possible to increase his productivity while still getting the results he's searching for.
Let me throw a little soil under there or something. Lay it down and see what it does. Push it.
Before we can start installing the pond, we have to build a retaining wall to support the infrastructure.
Yep. Could you push the whole thing up that way from down here? Just push it closer to that rock. A little bit more. I'm good.
I've always built my retaining walls with a thumb or a grapple, but after working with the Aquascape boys, I am now 100% thoroughly convinced that you do not use a thumb or a grapple to build ponds. You use a strap, and I'm going to show you why in a minute. Right here, coming up, this boulder completely escaped the grapple and rolled directly into my door. Now, it didn't cause a whole lot of damage, but inside of a pond where there's a liner, if you rupture that liner and when a stone gets away, you can start all over again. And with straps, the process is so much more controlled. But I don't learn that until a little bit later on in this project. Nope. I don't know what it is. It was in the bottom of the pond. How did it get there? Is it an old block and tackle?
That looks like a piece of angle iron or eye iron in it. That's for sure.
I don't know. What the heck? Looks like it was like that.
Power wash it off.
I'm not that in love with it. Unless you want to keep it for yourself.
Like your rusty
hey, here's your
things.
here's your daily bonus, Zach. Morning, one and all. It is the start of day 3, and this is where we left her at yesterday. We've got the general contour set, but we can only build from the inside, so we got to build over our work zone, which makes the build incredibly difficult. That fence we're not able to take down since that fence is buried 2 feet deep, and it's all linked together. Otherwise, we take that section of the fence down and come around and build from the outside in. We got to build from the inside out. Absolutely backwards. Not the end of the world, just a lot more difficult than a typical build. This is the last day of this week that we'll have Ed. He's taken off and he's coming back next week. And we're going to pause the project while he's gone. And the reason I say we're pausing it is because next week we're going to have a lot of contractors coming in. And they're going to share their experiences, how they build ponds, and they're going to learn from each other because a rising tide raises all ships. I think that's actually Greg Whitstock's one of his sayings that he says all the time, and it is so true. When we all help each other out, we all benefit. It's the truth. So today we're gonna just see how this goes and crawl our way down into our pond and start building and working over our zone. Let's just see how it goes. Cooking with Crisco.
Don't stand in front of it, you'll get flat.
Zach wouldn't know what that means, but I'm guessing you know what it means.
I know what cooking with
Okay, so
Crisco
let me
is.
ask you something, Ed. Do you know what good stuff Maynard means?
Yeah. Good stuff, Maynard. What was that from, though?
Yeah,
I do.
I know what it's
I don't
from.
remember.
Because I had a...
Ed, John, Ed.
How are you?
I'm quizzing Ed.
I do, but I'm...
Good stuff Maynard.
Stuff, Maynard.
Do you know what good stuff Maynard is from?
Yeah, I used to say it back in the 80s. Good
Yep.
stuff, Maynard.
Yes.
Yep. Yeah.
But what is it actually from? Where did it originate from? I had a kid in high school. His name was Maynard.
So that's screwing you up.
Yep.
Do you know, Zach?
Is it from Cars?
No.
This was
way
80s.
before then.
This was 80s. This
Way
was
before
80s.
then.
When you guys want to know, I'll let you know.
Was it the guy with mayonnaise?
Close, but no.
Close.
Wonder Bread.
Nope. You're on the right track, though. He's thinking food.
Yep.
That's your first clue.
Yep. Good stuff, Maynard.
It's not Mikey.
No,
No.
that was like
So it would be
cereal.
it would be breakfast.
Oh, was it like it's like a hot
Yep.
breakfast cereal type
Yes.
thing?
Cream of wheat?
Malto meal.
Oh,
Malto meal. Good stuff, Maynard.
We didn't have malto meal. We had farina.
That's what the rich folk ate. So we have the worst soil, of course. Worst soil, tight site, just stuff. Every typical one of my jobs. So we have to put in a sand cushion. We had sand just recently delivered, and we're gonna layer this. How much sand, Ed?
16 yards or 16 ton? What did you get? Oh, on the bottom. Inch and a half.
Inch and a half?
Inch and a half.
Inch and a half of sand. But thanks for telling me how much sand I had delivered at. Yeah, because we're pulling crap like that out. So I'm gonna start laying it in. These guys are gonna start cutting fabric. You've seen enough dirt work. Why don't you go watch them cut fabric? Zach, take it away, buddy.
All right. Then we need what? 2 of these, Ed?
The next we're gonna need at least 2. All right, let's see if we could bury that in. I'm trying to think. Yeah, you want to cut another one at 40?
Okay.
You lay this one out, or you need?
No, I got it. I'll roll it back up, roll it down, and should get another one going.
Or you can go from there and just bring it.
Yeah, you're right.
Push it up.
Because we have really terrible soil, I mean, we are pulling stuff like that weird hitch block iron thing out of the ground, we have to take extra special precautions. So we're putting a sand cushion in, then we're putting fabric down, heavy duty Boulder fabric, then the liner, then another layer of fabric over the top of that. And that culvert you see at the bottom is not to drain the pond. That's actually an underwater cave that I wanted to install in case I ever put in big catfish and I wanted to go noodling. Noodling is a sport where you dive underwater and you grab a big catfish and you pull it out with your bare hands. Well, now I can do it in my backyard. If I could do any one thing, you're not going to believe what I'm going to say next. I would make it bigger. In a heartbeat. They say that everybody gets 3 ponds in their life. They get the one they think they're going to like, then they upgrade that, and then they get finally the one that they really wanted all along. You cannot get a pond big enough. If you're thinking about getting a pond, double it or triple it, and then that's probably where you'll start to be happy, but I don't want you to be dissatisfied and angry at me. If you're going to do it, go absolutely as big as you possibly can right out of the gate. Save yourself all the time, energy, and effort of building a pond and then rebuilding it 2 more times. Because I already want to make this bigger. If I could have my way, I would double the size of this pond. Absolutely. Wouldn't think twice about it. I love my fish. So today we max out the equipment, and in fact, one of the boulders we put up doesn't require 2 pieces of equipment, but 3 pieces just to lift. And here you can see the guys are actually assisting with the lift of a boulder because the equipment has nothing more to give. I didn't think it would work, but it actually did. But let's just take you along for the ride today, guys. All right, good morning, one and all. It is Monday, and this is supposed to be the busy week, but we've got 3 inches of rain coming tonight. Level 2 storms coming the rest of the couple days, not entire week. Won't be a washout, but I think today may be our big day. And the Aquascape team couldn't fly in yesterday, so they're driving in. So yeah, we're getting a late start to the day, which means we're gonna probably work pretty late. Ed wanted to harvest the tree, so it's this one. He wants this trifecta tree up here. And it's leaning right over the top of our gray shed.
Yeah, so
I want to get everything to go into the ditch.
Right.
All right, so let's see if we can't make that happen without too much disaster. Okay, since the tree has got a heavy lean this way, and I've got 2 buildings, 2 cars, everything parked here, I'm gonna try to get into here to give her the Ring of Pearls. I call it the Ring of Death. That's when you see an artificial or man-made pond and somebody has taken the same kind of boulders and stuck them in all the way around the top. You never really see that put up into a natural pond, but for some reason when people make ponds, that seems to be what people think should go there. The Aquascape team tries to create a very naturalistic pond edge, and that means sometimes you may line up the edge of a pond with a tree. You may do something else, but having the same size boulders stuck up all the way around your pond is not what they aim for, and Ed wanted this tree taken down, so if he could use that as a pond edge, it was available to use. So that's what Zach and I are up to. Just don't let her hurt ya. There we go. All right, I said we were gonna have a pretty full house. Let me introduce everybody to you. Of course, you guys know Zach. I'm Stan the Dirt Monkey, but here's the crew. I've waited an entire year for these guys, and it's worth it, you guys, because these are the best in the world. But I want to introduce the team here. We've got Kevin behind the camera.
Hi.
We've got Sean.
Hey,
We've got my new guy, Jake. I've never met him before. Hi, Jake. Nice to meet you. He's on my team now. We've got Timmy. We've got Chris, who's still here. And then we've got Greg, who came in from Iowa. And Greg's company builds ponds down there. They do hardscaping. They do mowing, make tall grass short, only because they have to, not because they want to. Am I right, Greg?
100%.
That's right. Stop making tall grass short, you guys. But that's our crew for today. We've got 3 inches in level 2 storms coming in tonight. So today we're talking about just busting butt as hardcore as we possibly can. So it's going to be a flurry of action and a flurry of fun. And I just want to introduce the team here so you know everybody that's happening. And welcome to the journey today, because this is going to be a brand new experience for us, working under 2 of the best pond builders in the entire world. These are the 2 guys we're all going to be learning from today. This is going to be freaking epic. Ed the Pond Professor reminds me a lot of my Timmy. Timmy is a perfectionist, and we actually nicknamed him Technical Timmy because every minor detail has to be adhered to. And Ed the Pond Professor is almost identical. Every boulder has to be a certain way. No other way to do it. This is actually called an aqua block, and it's the filter. So this goes below the wetland area. And what happens is the water flows at the bottom and then comes up and percolates through. A reverse flow under gravel filter, if you're familiar with aquariums. These guys are gonna start assembling them. This is probably the world's most advanced residential filtration system you can get for a pond. It does borrow technology that we all are familiar with from the aquarium industry, but then amps it up and brings it to a whole nother level. And we'll show you that today. So you have these in here.
Yes.
If we're putting dirt here or rock,
we're gonna put rocks.
Rocks?
We'll blow a piece of liner because we don't want water to come in deep. We want to suck the surface water in.
Okay.
So the surface water has the highest dissolved oxygen, which is what we were talking a little bit about last week.
Yep.
Make sure we have high dissolved oxygen. The surface water is also going to have floating debris on it. Mm-hmm. So we'll have fast moving water come in, and then it dumps into this cavern here. So now all of a sudden the water velocity drops down, everything kind of precipitates out.
It's a detritus sump at that point.
Exactly what it is.
Okay, so how am I going to get the detritus out? Right here?
Yep.
Okay.
That's at the lowest point. It's 7 inches below the floor of all this. We had a slight pitch going back to that corner. That's what we use the sand for.
It's almost like Ed's done this once or twice before.
I think this is my second.
Okay. He's built bear exhibits, red wolf exhibits. You built, what other animal exhibits have you built?
Oh gosh. Eagle, bear, otters, lions, tapirs, horses, dogs, cats.
A cat? You build a pond for a cat?
For big cats.
Oh, yeah.
The most dangerous though one is the cassowary bird.
What?
Cassowary.
Okay.
So they are from New Guinea and Australia. They stand 6+ feet tall.
Yeah.
They got a claw on them like a velociraptor.
Okay.
And they will eviscerate somebody. Like there's documented deaths of people. So the cassowary exhibit actually is in a national park located actually in Australia, because the cassowaries are going to lay their eggs near a body of water. Okay. And they actually go in the water all the time.
So normally you would build a pond from the outside in, but in this situation we have no space, so we have to build it from the inside out, which adds a level of difficulty to the build, which means that we have to roll the liner back up, place boards down, work our way out, and as we start to build the wall, we have to unravel that liner. So it's build, roll, build, roll, build, roll. It's just a wash, rinse, and repeat cycle. It's very common when we're demolishing swimming pools to use this process, but not so common when you're building a pond.
Yeah, so this is what we call concrete cloth or concrete canvas. It's got a PVC membrane on one side, which actually makes it impermeable to water. We're not using that in this application, but on the other side, it's got this woven geotextile, and it is impregnated with Portland cement. So as soon as you saturate it, it turns into a rock hard surface. So I can come on top of this literally with a sledgehammer and bash it. It might get micro fractures and everything, but it will never puncture. It's not going to go through the membrane. I use this in applications where we have large animals, wolves, big dogs like you have that are diggers. You know, so something that's going to want to actively dig into the bottom of the pond. This will create a protective barrier that nothing's going to get through.
All right, and it's called what?
It's called concrete cloth.
Where do you guys get it from?
You can get it through us.
All right, so you go through Aquascape, but guys actually use this for drainage swales.
Drainage swales.
Up at the tops of mountains, instead of pouring concrete, bringing cement trucks up,
yep.
They bring rolls of this up in an excavator.
500-foot rolls.
Yeah, and they bring an excavator up, dig out their drainage swale, roll this stuff out, and let Mother Nature harden it.
Exactly. Don't even wet it. You could saturate it if you want, but yeah, you let it for one rain or so, and you're good.
And you're done. You're golden.
So
good
don't
to
leave
know.
it outside in the rain.
Do not leave it outside in the rain.
Kind of like your bags of Portland cement. Don't leave outside in the rain. Not yet, then?
Let's give it a shot.
We good? Let's go.
Right where that's at.
Over here.
Yeah, exactly.
Hold it! Hold it! Keep it in! Keep it in! So we want this corner over here. Yeah, that works. I'm doing all the time. But it's borderline like that.
The machine is maxed out and pushing up on it actually made a difference. I have a feeling this wasn't the first time they've done this.
You gotta bring it into you.
I know.
And we want to swing it up that corner on the hillside as high as you can get it.
If you pull that fabric up,
So it's almost got to shoot for Greg's knee.
alright, okay, I'm setting her down. Is that okay?
Yeah, you can set it.
Try to get closer.
Yeah, go ahead.
Let's get the slack out of there.
Yeah, you want to tie it up a little tighter?
No, then we can't swing it. That limits us on position.
Take it out. Take it out. I'm gonna try to get the machine closer. I'm not recognizing down there, right?
Back forward.
There you go. Right up. Good.
Okay, now just curl to you.
Raise her up.
Pulling up, you guys.
Got it. Take it up in that hillside as high as you can.
You raise up.
Go.
All right, ready?
Good.
Exactly, it's fun. All right, can we come down? Hold it. Give me that concrete bomb. Slide that right under there. All right, you just gotta pull that edge.
Coming down on your own.
Start coming down. Go really easy. Nice and easy. Concrete is 9 inches above water. That concrete there is 9 inches above.
The top of the rock looks about level.
Yep. Okay. So we're good. And we could honestly, if we get a rock there, we might be able to.
All right, so one of the things that we have to do different with this pond build that hopefully you'll never have to do with yours or one that you're working on is we have to build inside, as you guys have been seeing. So that means we fold the liner up, fold the liner back, fold the liner up, fold the liner back, a lot more steps, but we just don't have any room to work. Ed, did you check that liner down there to make sure where
Yeah, we did.
and we were okay?
Yeah, it was good.
Okay. Because the reason I'm asking is because I was pushing down and my blade got off the boards, our support structure, and last thing I need is a bigger hole in the bottom of my yard. Good morning, one and all. It's the start of the second day, so it's Tuesday. We've got a big day if Mother Nature allows us to. We're going to be working in between the sprinkles today. The site has been rain-proofed, so we've got the tarp on. Severe storms heading this way. We're just going to roll that back, roll this up. We're actually going to build a normal retaining wall inside of my pond, because why wouldn't you have a retaining wall underwater? So right here, we're going to be installing an actual retaining wall. And that, I think, is one of the first things we're going to start doing today, because we want to be able to get that wall in so that we can hide the ends of the wall. And the reason why we're building here, Zach, you want to... The reason why we're building this retaining wall under here is that you can sit on the deck and put your feet in. And then by having that wall flush, it allows you to do that. But on the flip side of that coin, we want to get that wall in so that we can then place a boulder here and a boulder there and have the two ends of the retaining wall disappear. So Alex, since he likes to get up at about 5 a.m., hit the gym, and then sit outside in my yard chomping at the bit to get to work. It's already here, ready to go.
Yeah.
And he fought the law and the law won, didn't you, Alex?
And that's a true story there.
That's been a true story for a lot of people. He'd never win against them.
No.
All right, so let me get off the thing that we got to unroll. The Aquascape crew will be here. We have guys coming in from all over the states, the nation, to join us, and the reason they're joining us basically for training. I got a tarp to get off, so I'm going to get this off, get this wall started, and when the Aquascape crew shows up, then we'll start, we'll talk about it. I think we're actually rolling. Kevin's already hit the go button.
What are we?
Look at him. He's like, just go. Just do it. All right, guys. So here's the scoop. We're here. My team is here. We're training. We've got Greg. Hey, Greg, where are you from?
Muscatine, Iowa.
Iowa. And you are an certified aquascape contractor as well. So Greg's here to train. And if you guys can't make it to my backyard within the next day or two to do training, you guys actually do training every single year, right?
We do. Oh yeah, it's been a foundation of us for 25 plus years. We realized many years ago that one of our benefits is we design and build on a daily basis. So we wanted to show people how to efficiently install water features, because it could be a headache, as you know, anything in the construction industry. So if something is done wrong, it's a headache and it's not good for the overall industry. So we want to ensure that things are being done properly. You're going to have good long-term results with your water feature, which is why we spend a lot of time, effort, training people, showing step by step, because I've made every mistake in the book. I've done it for 31 years. I've screwed up a lot of those early projects, but I could teach people that and say, hey, don't do it like this. This is a better way to do it, because now I've done several hundred or several thousand using this method. This works.
Yes. So there's, what is it, Chris? What's coming up? We got Pandemonium.
Pandemonium, which is like our Super Bowl event, right? It goes on every other year in person. And it's both hands-on in the field, it's waterfall building contests, it's foreman training, it's leadership training, it's business training, marketing training, social media, I mean, just everything. That our Super Bowl is this year in person in August. It's 3 days, plus you can come see some of the most beautiful ponds ever built by the team at Aquascape. There's a pond tour that you can go on. It's cool. We get nice comfy buses, air conditioning, beer, stuff like that. We teach you the numbers. So that's the other benefit to Aquascape, not just the hands-on, right? We teach you how to charge, what to charge. We teach you breaking it down from how much profit you're making per man hour to how much profit you're making on large jobs. You know, Stanley, you're getting one hell of a water feature here, buddy, but not everybody can afford a Ferrari, right? So there's water features that we train every contractor out there. There's water features for every budget out there. So we have this summer is the Super Bowl event, but every winter is where you get into the X's and O's and you really break down your business, and we teach you both inside the walls, the office, the business stuff, and then also hands-on. That happens every winter. Ed runs, I think, two classes.
I have several advanced courses that go into a little bit more detail about the biology and some of the engineering aspects that we would tackle on larger projects. We also have regional events as well, which is similar to what we're doing here, where we're tackle a large project out of state, and we'll do, last year we did 9 of them. all over the United States where people can come in and work side by side with us, with our team. And I would do it exactly how we did yours here. I would come out and do the prep work beforehand, get a lot of the infrastructure taken care of, and then everybody comes in and gives a hand and sees step by step how to install an intake bay, how to install the pumps. You know, so it's more hands-on driven versus being in a classroom. Being contractors, I'm a hands-on guy. You know, actually seeing it, feeling it, touching it, way more valuable.
I've been to 3 or 4 of your trainings, and I'm cool with the technical aspect of it. What you're doing is teaching guys how to do ponds. But the most valuable thing I've ever found anywhere is your business training. You do marketing, you understand your numbers, you do the breakdowns, you do everything that you said, Chris. And for guys that, even if they don't want to install ponds as their main form of work, maybe they want to put one in here or there, just go for the business training. It is legitimately the best hands-on business training of any consulting course, company, facility I've ever seen anywhere, and I've attended tons of them. I've attended tons of them. The business training alone is mind-blowing, and what I see is a lot of your pond, your CACs, come back time again, because they're polishing and refining it. I mean, freaking Greg over there, he doesn't need to be here. He drove 5 hours because he's polishing and refining his skills. And I see that in the certified aquascape contractor. So if you guys are just maybe thinking about getting a pond, get a CAC, because these guys aren't just a guy that digs a hole in the ground and dumps rock in. These guys take it to the next level. And I'm watching them hands-on do it, and I've seen it in the past. They're the best of the best around the nation, and I'm not getting paid to say that. I'm just saying, because you're not paying me. Greg's not paying me. Nobody's paying me. I'm saying it because it is phenomenal training. That's it. I wanted you guys to have that plug, because it's changed a lot of people's lives. Aquascape has changed a lot of people's lives. Guys that want to make a living. It really has. It's done a phenomenal job.
And your team is on the brink of getting certified right now. So think about Tim sold another one, or Alex sold another one.
A big one.
A big one, right? Yeah. And a couple of pondless, couple of fountainscape, and both of your top guy and then yourself will be living the aquascape lifestyle, and you'll even become better stewards of selling water features out there, because you'll be living it.
Yep. All right, let's get back to work. This first strap had a slight fray in it, and we were all kind of worried about it. And this is a great example of why you can never tie down a piece of equipment that has to go down the road and use any straps that have even the slightest fray in them. Because once it has a fray, I'm afraid that it's compromised. Get it? Fray, frayed. All right, it was a bad joke, but at least I tried.
Want to come down just a hair?
Don't curl it out, take it to you.
There you go. That'll work.
Let him go first.
the line, and that's why my door is closed on the skiddy, because I know if that thing pops, it's going to be going pretty fast, and the last thing I want to do is get hit in the face with a flying strap. I don't feel like getting slapped that hard on this job.
Started lifting and that didn't, and that's what that slipped off because of that angle.
Boys, and watch Greg in my Kubota excavator. See how close that comes to him. I was busy concentrated on my piece of equipment. I should have hollered at him. It's my fault. I should have told him to put that windshield down because I had that inkling that that strap was going to let go and let go fast. But we got a lot more pond stuff coming up, you guys. So make sure you come back because we're going to be wrapping this thing up and showing you every detail of it.
We might need to stand on the back of that skid loader. Keep the weight on it. Dad, what's your best guess on weight now? 8,000 pounds?
7 to 8.
Man, just so you guys know that fork shirt again.
Not just about pushing this boulder into place. We've got to get it lined up so that the top stays true. We want to make sure that the boulder looks like it's halfway in the water, halfway out of the water, and it becomes this masterpiece destination stone. And we'll show you more about that in the next video coming right down the pipeline. So come back soon, boys. Any niche within the green industry that you can get the actual training to run the business, but to do the install.
All right, so we're just going to clean that out. We're going to get the strap on. We'll be ready to go in a couple minutes.
All right, that's what she said.
If the pond professor says so.
If he says so, it's got to be. And he's right. The day poo to the rescue.
You gotta say something nice about it now.
You got to give it a little bit of love. There he is. There's the man. Nick, how are you, buddy?
Good, how are you?
Good. Guys, my buddy Nick, the Pond King, another CAC. Thank you for coming to the rescue, by the way. The title, his title should be Nick to the Rescue. We snapped them straps, and you have 20,000 pound lifting straps?
Those are 10,000. Okay. Yeah. Well, depending on the lifting.
Okay.
This is looking sweet.
All right, let's go ahead and check it out. I'll show you. I thought Nick was nuts. Let me back this up and explain it. Nick came out a year before and started to design this pond with the Aquascape team. And he put some initial numbers together, and his initial numbers were coming in right around $100,000 for this pond. Now, coming up down the pipeline, I'm going to walk through all of the actual numbers that this pond should be hitting at. But the first time I heard that number of $100,000, I thought Nick was smoking crack, because I did not realize everything that went into the filtration system. I didn't realize all of the plumbing, everything that was going on behind the scenes. And I'm going to show you all of that plus more. So I owe a big, giant apology to Nick, the Pond King. He doesn't smoke crack, and he's not crazy. He's actually a really awesome dude. For real.
A little bit.
Nick was the first person that actually seen this before anybody else did, when we were in the initial planning stages. So Nick actually helped communicate with Ed on what the overall design should be and everything else, right?
Yeah, well, what your vision was, I told Ed, and yeah, Ed's like, yeah, we got that, no problem. And now check it out, right off of your balcony, right off of the deck. That's gonna be sick. Wow.
So this is the one we snapped the strap.
I remember that. That was the one that was here, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, that strap should be great.
But it's not good enough sitting up on the shore. No, it's got to be halfway in the water.
I agree. I concur. If the pond professor says so.
If he says so, it's got
Yes,
to
sir.
be. And he's right. We got to give Ed a lot of crap while he's here because we only got him for so many
I don't
days.
expect anything else.
So I got to get like a whole season's worth of crap giving into him.
You guys are killing it.
What are you working on?
We're working on a big wreck pond too. So it's a 45 by 25, 6.5 foot deep pond with a big waterfall, wetland filter, sun deck, jump off spots. So it's pretty fantastic.
Where's that at?
Right in Prior Lake. 3 minutes from my house. It's the dream.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so when he called, I was like, oh, no problem. Yeah.
So if you guys happen to be in Minnesota and you don't want us to install a pond, call him.
Thank you.
Nick the Pond King.
Well, you guys are
Absolutely.
craftsmen just like we are, so you're in good hands either way.
Okay, Ed, so our first attempt failed because we were moving and grooving and our strap slipped.
Yep.
And it had a fray in it.
Yep.
You can never use a strap with a fray. 'Cause
No.
that just proves it. This time we're not moving.
No, we're basically, what we're gonna try to do, we got the rock positioned, we got it at the proper elevation, we're gonna lift it straight up, about a foot. We'll take the liner and the geotextiles, we'll pull it underneath.
Okay.
Make sure everything is good. Once we give you the thumbs up, then you just gently set her back down. That's it.
And we're doing a tandem lift.
We will have to do a tandem.
So I'll be in here, we'll have Craig in the Kubota KX040.
Yeah.
And so a tandem lift is my forks are on the bottom, then we hook his bucket up
To
and
your
then we
forks.
use- to my forks, and we use his bucket to lift my forks because this won't do it.
Right.
Okay.
Yep. So we're splitting that load out a little bit. All right, so we're just gonna clean that out. We're gonna get the strap on. We'll be ready to go in a couple minutes.
All right, that's what she said.
Got it.
Done.
Want to make sure our straps hold first. Keep going.
Mic catch.
It's starting to slip. Drop it down. We gotta get it more level.
Can you back up like a foot just to get more lift? Lower your bucket stand just a hair. You're good. That's good.
Out. Start curling. Got any more, Greg? A little bit? All right, oh, back gently, just a bump right there. Come forward. All right, right there. Get a little tension on there.
Straight up. Curl your bucket down. Good. Let me reposition here, Greg. Hold on.
Day Poo to the rescue.
Yeah, say something nice about it now.
Got to give it a little bit of love.
There's not much room, man. You weren't kidding.
Oh, to get through?
Oh,
Yeah.
on each side. It was tight. Yep, and then going over that hump.
That hump makes you do that.
It
Yeah.
wants to shift on you.
Yeah. Yeah. I know.
And I didn't know if that wall would blow out. You know, it's right up against your
Oh,
wall.
the barn wall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
you were in there. I'm like, maybe he just doesn't want to watch.
That was exactly.
Ignore what's going on behind
Yeah.
me.
It ain't happening. If I'm not looking, it ain't happening.
I know.
All right, we're saying goodbye to Alex for the day. Thank you for coming out. Are you coming back tomorrow or no?
We'll see where I get in the office.
Who do I get for guys out here? Anybody?
No.
Nobody?
Well, unless we're rained out. It depends on what our site's like. We're working on a hill, so if we get a crap ton of rain tonight, a good chance we can have them out here.
Which we are gonna get.
Right. I mean, we're not going up much block. We can walk it all down there and stack it. We could even walk it. I didn't even notice it. I've done it. You make little stoppers, so you slide with it, you can go to the next one. It's like Pachinko with blocks. It's like the what?
All right, here we go. Rain is coming in. We've got our tarp laid down, pond liner in. We're actually filling the pond, so Mother Nature's gonna help us out. We're filling, washing all the rocks off, emptying it out, but it's 5 o'clock. I mean, we couldn't ask for, at least we got a full day's worth of work in, and we couldn't ask for a better day. It was an awesome day. I mean, overall, I would call this day just fun. All right, guys, it's the start of day 3. We've got some new additions to the team. We've got Russell, Ed, and we got Austin. And we've got the regular crew back. We've got Sean, we've got Kevin, we've got Greg, we've got Ed, Chris will be here, we've got Zach, and we've got mud. 2.5 inches of rain came in overnight, and this is the marsh area. So we've got to excavate the muck out so that Ed can create, and he created his own filter system. Let's take a quick look at this thing, Ed.
Yep.
So this is like a reverse flow under gravel filter. If you're familiar with aquariums, it's modular in design, but this is from Ed. This is Ed's brain baby right here.
Yep. So this was developed 25 years ago. We did a lot of testing on it. What we have is we have high velocity water coming in over here. We have a flat bottom instead of a circular or round, so that's going to allow sedimentation to occur. We have a 93% reduction in water velocity, which is going to allow the big grit and sand and stuff to fill up in this bottom chamber. The water then flows out of these slots, and it's going to go up into our aqua box, and we have another sedimentation chamber. But the way this is set up is everything is pitched towards that far end, and that's our sump. That's going to be our clean out, which you pump this out once a year, take all that stuff just like you do with your aquarium, that nutrient rich water, pump it into your trees and all that type of stuff.
Give it to your plants because it's a beautiful thing.
It is awesome. It is awesome. So aqua blocks are going to go here, and then we're going to have all the different layers of river rock on top, starting with the big stuff, medium, small. That's it.
So the beautiful part about this thing is to really create the best biological filtration you can, you have to remove the detritus from the water column because that's what suffocates all of your bacteria. We're removing the detritus, and then by pumping the water up underneath that gravel, we are creating a bacteria bed which handles the rest of the filtration. Removes ammonia, removes nitrate, removes nitrite, removes everything that you possibly can think of except for the kitchen sink. Am I right, Ed?
Nailed it.
Guys, let me explain what we've got going on. Ed's built a berm in my pond, but the point of this is to force the water to come up through that biological bed that we were talking about earlier and then flow down. So it does two things, filter and creates aeration. This part of the pond is going to be a foot higher than this part of the pond intentionally, because we need that water movement and we want to make sure that we get everything to flow the way we want it to go. So unlike traditional ponds or pools, what this giant hole in the ground is actually the filtration system for this pond. It's unlike anything else out there, and instead of me talking through it, I'm going to show you exactly what we're doing step by step so you can better understand it. So Chris has Russell. Well, Chris has his own team over here, and these guys, Austin and Russell and Chris, are doing edging.
The biggest thing is, right, if you're in virgin ground or you're building up, right, the biggest thing is that you have nice clean folds behind your rock, like so. We have a clean fold here, and we do one fold that's just a 6-inch one-time fold. We are 4 inches higher than water level right here, and so we do one clean fold up against the backside of the rock, and then we come in and we pin it up against that rock, that boulder. That way, if there's any foot traffic or there's dog traffic coming through here, this won't be buoyant and bouncing and liner showing. What it also allows you to do,
get away from garbage out here,
is plant right up to the edge, right? So you have good transition from rock to plants. And so you can really soften up this edge and change the shape of it. So you can see this here. Here's a good example. The vertical comes up. That does not lay down. And it does. It makes and breaks the surface area of the pond.
Because we're not doing a ring of pearls.
We're not.
A ring of pearls means you just stick boulders all the way around your pond, but you don't ever see that in real life, and Mother Nature doesn't do that, so never. We're not going to do that, and that's not the aquascape way.
That's 1000% right.
Okay,
Yep.
Boom. That's what happens when you go to a few classes. You pick up a thing or three. Thanks, Chris. Yep. Any niche within the green industry that you can get the actual training to run the business, but to do the install. Like you can't, I don't know any place that does it with pavers. I don't know any place that does it with retaining walls. I mean, I don't know any place that'll do it with grading or digging a basement. But when you're doing a pond like this, Greg has this thing all laid out. Step 1, step 2, step 3, 21 steps from start to finish. He teaches you how to bid. He teaches you how to do the marketing. He teaches you how to do the install. He teaches you how to run your company. It's huge. This just seemed too good to pass up, to work with these guys hand in hand and have this guy and that guy come out and work with me. So heck yeah. Okay, Ed, now that we're putting it together, you want to explain to me what we're seeing here?
Yeah, so what we have here is an upflow biological filter. We have, this is our water distribution. So we have high velocity water coming down. Water comes through these little slots. Big sediments are going to drop out. Water then goes into these next chambers. There's a couple things that are happening in here. So when we're talking about removing sediments, it's all about controlling water velocity. When you slow the water down, it allows the finer sediments to drop out. You mentioned it earlier, Stan, the microorganisms living inside the filter, they don't like detritus. They don't like that muck inside of there. It clogs it up and it's not efficient. So we want to allow that stuff to accumulate inside of here. But the other thing, if you look at these little boxes, they seem very simple. They are actually designed for H20 loading. So we could drive with 18 inches of gravel on it. You could drive a 80,000 pound vehicle over it. You can drive semi trucks on top of these plastic boxes. It's unbelievable. I have them underneath parking lots. But the other thing I want to talk about, you see all these little fins and everything, and there's a series of internal panels. When the water comes in here, there are two different types of flow. There's laminar flow and then there's mixed flow. Laminar flow means you just have a solid mass of water moving and it's not disturbed. Engineers love that because you could move water very efficiently from point A to point B. From a biomimicry standpoint, we want a mixed flow. We want to create lots of turbulence inside the water, because when you create turbulence, all that water swirls around and small particles start bouncing into each other. When they bounce into each other, it allows the sedimentation process to occur. It also increases dissolved oxygen and gives us even dissolved oxygen through the entire system. So all these little fins and panels inside of here mix that water thoroughly for us. Then with this system, it's going to take approximately 10 minutes for the water to go from here to the top of this. So the water's going to go really, really slow. Then we have all this river rock on top. So when you take river rock, again, I'll just demonstrate here. You can see we're going to have this gravel on top. So instead of it being a giant void, now we have eliminated the void space. So now the water velocity starts picking up because it's going through the little interstitial spaces of the gravel. So the water velocity gets faster and faster and faster as it flows through the filter media, which actually keeps it from getting clogged. So this took years and years of development, of screwing projects up during that time, ripping stuff out, figuring out how the system actually works. And now we have a working model, and I've been doing this system now for decades without any problem.
Would you say that this may be the world's most advanced residential filtration system for a pond?
Absolutely, because of the modular nature of it, the simplicity of it, and years of operation and testing that we have, without a doubt.
I say residential because commercial applications require massive pumps, and it's a completely kind of a different setup, right?
Correct.
Yep. But for a residential pond,
absolutely,
it doesn't get better. This is the cat's meow.
This is it.
All right, and you created it. All right, Edward Pond Hands did it. All right, let's keep going. So now Ed is creating the spillways that'll allow the water to pass through from the filtration center down to the lower pond. And that's one of the stones he wants to use. And he's going to create strategic spillways which will give us the ability to actually walk across from one side to the other side without walking all the way around. So we got to get a boulder underneath there to support it, Ed?
Yeah, so what we're trying to do is that the step, we know the elevation for the step, so we have to create a bed of rock work to support that. Now the mass of the rock is actually going straight down in there, but you can see we got just a couple inches right here. So we're going to set a rock right here. We'll get a little bit more gravel under there, and we should be able to drop that in place. The other thing we got to do, you can see how this rock is sloped a little bit. We got to try to get that side up a touch, but we can't do anything until we get this stabilized.
Okay, ready? Yep.
Careful.
One, two, three. All right. Get your paper out.
Are we going up against it towards you at all?
No.
This point has to go in and that has to go in.
You want me to lift that up?
Not yet.
Dig out a little bit of gravel right here. That thing dips down in there a touch. Take out the rocks it.
It's going to be a good one. All right, God bless. Go get them, you guys. We'll be back tomorrow for another day and putting another rocker to it.
Get that piece in there. That's awesome.
So this is the one Ed wants to get. While he's here, we got to bend some elbows, right? Where is Alex's hand? All right.
You guys ready?
Yep.
All right. Go.
Good morning, one and all. Okay, so this is the finale, the grand finale. But we're gonna do something a little bit special for you guys. Chris, Ed, and I are going to break down this job for one reason and one reason only. Greg Whitstock, the pond guy, says that there is the most profits in ponds of any niche in the green industry. Agreed?
Absolutely, yes.
Okay, and what we want to do is show you guys, thank you, Zach. What we want to do is show you guys exactly how much profits there are. Because I was running through the numbers last night.
Yeah.
And I'm like, there's nothing I could do that would even come close to the profits on a job like this. There's nothing. In my history of working, I've never come close to making as much money as you could potentially make if you were installing this thing in somebody's backyard for them. In fact, I was talking to Tim about it this morning.
Yeah.
So you guys got to stick around because I'm not going to give it to you all at once, guys. Got to watch till maybe the end, maybe the middle. Who knows? I may pop that sucker in anywhere. But long story short, we are going to give you all of the information, be able to bid a job like this and to know exactly where the profits are. And these guys are going to help me with it.
Love to.
And this is Chris. And this is Ed. If you guys are just tuning in for the first time, these are the Aquascape gurus right here. So we're gonna bring it all to you. Let's go. The Aquascape team builds ponds better than anyone I've seen build ponds nationwide or even worldwide. But they don't limit it to themselves. They actually have an academy where they bring people in from across the nation and the world and teach them hands-on how to build ponds. In fact, some of the guys in today's video are coming in specifically just to do training with the Aquascape team. All right, guys, these guys are busy working, but I do want to introduce the team that's working out here today. You want to introduce yourself?
What's up, guys? My name's Kevin. I help produce Ed's channel here.
So if you want to see, you do the long form videos for Ed, right?
Yeah.
Go to YouTube. Ed has a phenomenal channel. Hey guys, I'm just doing introductions to for the audience. Austin, you want to introduce yourself?
I'm Austin. I'm with the Pond Company.
Russell Sabo from Potentscapes and Waterfalls.
All right.
Chris Wilson, Territory Sales Manager, Midwest, Aquascape.
And you're going to hear more from him and this guy.
Ed Ballou with Aquascape, also known as the Pond Professor.
And we got a new one. All right.
Matt with Urban Landworks and the Pond Company here.
And you're located in?
Bloomington, Minnesota.
Right. I'm Zach. And?
Greg Gill with Eastern Iowa Landscape Services, Muscatine, Iowa.
All right, so if you're in Iowa, he's one of the best pond installers I've seen. I mean, and excavator operator. And Sean has probably got a camera somewhere and running around, and he's part of the Aquascape team as well. Just wanted to let you know who's all playing in the pond today.
We're about that far away from wood and soil. We could probably...
All right, guys, the crew keeps growing, and I'd like to introduce you guys to Jeff. How are you, Jeff? So, some of you guys may have seen Jeff before. You are the world's arm wrestling champion, or were at one point. Right, and I've watched you on ESPN, I've seen you on the news and other things. And so, we've got our guy Alex here. Alex, come over here. So I put Jeff up to this, and he said he'd agree. Will you arm wrestle? Sure. Him? All right. All right. But you guys got to stay tuned because it's not going to happen right away. So you get to watch some more cool pond building stuff and us wrestle boulders. And then Alex and Jeff are going to go toe to toe and arm wrestle. Yeah? All right. Sounds like a day. All right, come on in, gentlemen.
Who built your pond, Jeff?
Me and my kids and my wife.
Oh, really? Oh, nice.
So Jeff has a koi pond and he's gonna expand it. That's why he's here today. So he wants to learn, just like all of these guys have come from all over to just to get the tips and tricks. But while he's here, we got to bend some elbows, right?
What's that? Yeah.
What's the setup? How do you do
have
that?
someone say, ready, go. Just make sure you don't turn your body too far away.
Ed, you got to get in there. You're the master of
Oh yeah, you gotta
ceremonies.
put your hands on top on the other side, and you gotta.
Where is Alex's hands?
All right. Are you guys ready?
Yep.
All right. Go.
Come on, Alex. Jeff is smiling. He's like,
Not too much of a challenge.
Set my elbows.
You need a cushion under there? Maybe?
No, it's just it.
Okay, ready? You guys ready?
Yep.
All right, go.
oh.
See, that's what it starts with. Does it pops?
Well, we don't want you to hurt yourself.
All right. It sounds like a popcorn machine. I heard something, just go let go.
Thanks for being a good sport, Jeff. Appreciate it.
All right, Ed, you're next.
We got boulders to lift. We'll wrestle them in. All right, guys. Jeff is on the road. Busy day. Where can guys, if they want more information, they want to find you on social media, where would they go?
On Jeff Dave Minnesota Arm Wrestle on Facebook, Jeff Dave on TikTok, or Jeff Dave on Instagram.
DABE, like babe with a D.
Yes, that is correct.
All right. Thanks, Jeff.
Thank you.
Appreciate it, my friend.
Nice.
Have a good one.
Thanks.
All right, you guys if you haven't seen the video prior to this one, this is our largest boulder, and it took 3 pieces of equipment. My biggest Kubota Skiddy, my Kubota KX040, and the Depu. But the Depu came through. Dude, this has got to be the funnest job I've been on in so long. Like,
great, isn't it?
Not joking, this has just been fun.
Yeah, it has. And we've lucked out with weather, so today's gorgeous. Perfect day to start wrapping stuff up. Get that beast in there, that's awesome.
So this is the one Ed wants to get. And this machine can lift it barely. We got to do the stretch.
Yeah, we can get forks on.
We're going to bring it in, set it down, and then we'll fork it from the top, and we'll use the Kubota to lift. So it'll be a tandem lift. Yeah, right, Stan, that sounds great.
Bring it in with the bucket then?
Yeah, bring it in with the bucket. He's here to help you mushel it. So one of the things, if you guys work on a job site or construction site, there is legitimately a technical dialogue that you should create within your own company. And we used to do that, but sometimes we just like to make up our own words, like Kerschmushel. Tim does not want any dirt with this boulder at all. putting the forks over the top of it and then lifting. So he's the main lifter. All right, we'll figure this out and get right back to you. We're already filling and Chris is edging. Yeah. And that's pretty typical. You guys fill before you're done.
Well, yeah, so on a one-day project, so you're always thinking ahead. On a one-day project, your pond, if it's say 180 square feet, 200 square feet, your goal with a 5-person crew is dug, lined, rocked, and filling at lunchtime. So filling, your edging's not done, but it's filling, so we're not sitting around waiting for it to fill up at the end of the day. So we hustle and bustle, we work as a team, 5-person team, 4-person team, depending. Everybody works together to get to that goal. Lunchtime might be at 11:30 because it's easy digging. Lunchtime might be at 12:30, 1 p.m. because it's hard digging.
How big is that pond?
150 square feet to 180 square feet.
What's the general price range of a pond like that?
15,000.
And you get her done in one day?
One day. Of a well-seasoned crew, right?
Yep.
Just 4 to 5 guys that are hustling. It's a hard day, but we try to get it done in a day.
Boom. So the goal with that rock is to turn it and get it inside of the pond as a stepping stone. Hey Alex, can you move the stick, the transit rod? I think that could get kershmushled.
We got this, but we got screws on this side, so we're going to put down dirt to this side will stay on. Hold up, plug something in. Your end has to stay on here.
Shorten it? Hold on. Let's readjust this strap and kind of choked off. That's good. How far can I drive in there, Ed? Hey Ed, how far can I drive into the pond?
You should be able to drive all the way up onto the plywood here. All right, Tim, you might have to start coming.
He's got to start coming in.
All right, start coming in, Tim.
It's all you right now. He doesn't have much control on that.
Hold up. Hold up. All right, so that's our back side.
It's only on 1 fork, too.
Start coming this way.
Ed, don't get too close to that 1 fork, just snap.
Yeah. Okay, hold it. So, Tim's gonna have to probably stop driving. Where are you at?
Might have to reset. Might have to reset and then come out, get the fork on, just 1 fork on the end.
Yep.
Let's set her down. Let's set her down.
It's digging down, so you gotta lift high on that side because it's submarine.
If you want me to get, if I get over there, I can probably hustle it around.
That's what, yep.
This is better than that.
Once you back out, we're going to try
I
to
would say you
position
get
in
over
here.
here. Then we'll reposition, get the position. End up down a bit.
Can't get it anywhere else. You can give us some more.
See what it does then, where he's at. Just put your blade on that rock. Yep. Alright, let's try it.
Oh yeah.
We'll reattach. Yep. Want me to keep it tight? Okay. Up a little bit. Hold it. Yeah, get it up there. Pretty good, I think. Look at that. All right, come straight forward. He's got to go that way a little as well. Problem is, we want to get a plant pocket there. That's got to stay there.
Large step up.
But you like rusted. You like rusted, right?
I know what that means.
Then just come straight towards this rock. We could probably actually I kind of like that shape like that better. If we can still get that liner in there. I like that shape better. So that's not a bad. I like it.
It's a natural
Rustic. I like it.
Over here.
Looks good.
That a blend up, like that other big guy there.
Now I gotta get this out of here.
All right, so for circulation, they've got two jets strategically located that way to pile drive the water over to the overflow this way. So to come down We're just firing it up, just testing out velocity, flow, making sure my electricity works. Ed, do you want to explain to me what we're looking at?
Yeah, for sure. So what we have is we have 2 of solids handling SLD pumps. They're adjustable, so we could increase or decrease the flow from 5,000 GPH all the way up to 9,000. But that's open with like no head height. We're probably getting about 7,500 gallons per hour per pump, so 15,000 GPH. We have that split between these 3 different waterfall effects, as well as these underwater jets. We have one you can see out in front about 3 feet. That one is almost on the bottom, and it's set at a 45-degree angle to create that upwelling effect. The second one is actually blasting across the front. The reason I like to do that is for circulation. You can see we're getting a big circulation pattern here, and all that stuff's going to get pushed over into that intake bay. What this is also doing is this is your main viewing area. So if you're going to have fish and things like that, and again, I don't think you're talking more about doing like native fishes and things like that versus koi. But koi are riverine species, and they love to play in those currents. So by putting fish in these areas, you can see them kind of playing around in those currents. And this is a riverine type system. We have a good solid flow going through everything, and it's going to keep all that stuff suspended, and it's going to suck it in over to our intake, and then it'll discharge it up into our wetland filter. So we're testing everything right now. Everything looks pretty dialed in my opinion. We might want to throttle this back or maybe tweak that one discharge point just a touch.
And we can do that with the control valve that you guys put on right there. So you can individually control each jet head if you wanted to, or the pump itself.
Correct.
You can turn it up or down, and of course if you turn it up, you're going to use more juice, more power.
Juice. Yep.
So, but you have 2 different pumps. One pump has to stay on 24/7 for the filtration.
Correct.
It cannot go off. The second pump is your company pump. It's when guests come over and you want to impress, you can turn it on, you can make more aeration, more flow, or whatever you want to use, right?
Yeah, but when I was doing the original designs, I was estimating around 15,000 gallons of water. So with both pumps running, we're at 15,000 gallons an hour, which means we're turning the entire volume over once every hour. Yep, a lot of grade work still. Drop in that big pump over on the edge. We're going to put in another small log over on that far side. I do want to add another log in the middle of the intake bay. So what we want to do is try to narrow that opening up a little bit. So by doing that, what's going to happen is we're taking this column of water, and when we compress it, it speeds it up because the flow is always the same. So the pump is going to be drawing the same volume. So if we take a big volume of water and we tighten it up, speeds it up faster. It's going to suck it in more, so that's going to create more of a suction on the surface. So that's one of the things I'm going to want to do as well. So I think we're going to put something in right kind of in that middle section over there, and we'll see what that looks like.
And Ed likes to burn the midnight oil. It's already like 5 or 6 o'clock, and he's talking about doing all this stuff yet tonight, and then driving home to Chicago.
Another day.
Like I said, you're the only person I know that I think could keep up with my right-hand man, Frankie.
Nice.
All right, you guys. I promised you guys some numbers, and I didn't forget. And I've said that ponds are the most profitable thing that you can possibly install in landscaping, and I firmly believe this. I've talked to so many guys, but I want to actually talk about the actual numbers on a project like this. So some of you guys have been tuning in and watching along through the entire process. And let's just talk about what we've got here. Now, I talked to Ed and Chris, and they told me that a pond like this, the typical price would be around $120,000 to $125,000 without the specialty boulders, without a boulder like that, without a boulder like that. That one came in by itself, and that one came in with a few of these other boulders that takes multiple pieces of equipment. Now, my wetland filter, so this is the actual filter system. This is actually still a pond. It's still a usable water surface. But this wetland filter is double sized over what you typically would need in a pond. And that's because I've got 2 German Shepherds, and both of those dogs basically live in this pond. I don't know why. They love this thing. We've also done a couple other specialty things that would add to the price of this pond. So if I was going to say, hey, you know, what would something like this completely cost, wrapped up, installed in your backyard? It's going to be a little different and a little unique, because some of the things that we've done is extended the deck over the face of the pond so that when you come out onto the deck, you're actually looking over the pond. So when you look straight down, the pond is below you. That's where that retaining wall came in one of the first videos you seen. Now the size of this pond, she's around 5 foot deep in its deepest part. The plantings are far from done. I'm not even close to done with the plantings. I've done some things on this back wall that I'll show you in an upcoming video. I fortified this back wall over here and then finished off the plantings. They've got to grow in. But if I was going to say, hey, you know, a general estimate for what something like this would take, the cost to install this would be around $150,000 as you see it here. And it took, 7 days total time. They were here. And then Zach and I and Frankie took another 2-3 days to wrap up the exterior landscaping. And we've still got more to do. It's a work in progress. But if you take that total number of 150G as you look at this and you divide that by 7 days for a 4-man crew, you can start to do the math and see just how fast the profits add up. In fact, I've gone to enough aquascape training seminars to know that the average mow and blow guy, the guy that makes tall grass short, is earning around $25 an hour. The average guy doesn't take any more knowledge. You don't have to be smarter, better, bigger, faster, stronger to install a pond. You just need to attend a couple classes and understand the process. But the average pond guy makes $253 an hour. $253. More than 10 times what an average mow and blow guy can make. I'm telling you guys, I want you guys to have the best possible life that you possibly can. We only have so many hours, so many days, so much time to get through this. And why go to work every day and grind and struggle and hustle and not be rewarded for it? Invest in yourself. Just take a few moments of time to try to understand how to do something a little more nichified, and you're going to be able to take your business to the next level. But I hope you guys enjoyed this series. We're gonna wrap this up. I'm gonna show you what we did for some of the finished landscaping, and my plants look like crap because my dogs tear them apart. As soon as I put them in there, they're wrestling, they're playing with balls, they're ripping everything out, they're jumping, they're swimming. I can't keep these dogs out of here. It's unreal how much the animals love this pond. Do something for myself that I would never do for you guys. Frankie is out mowing on a 32-inch riding mower. And there he just keeps going. I'm gonna sandwich that right into the bank and then fill over the top of it. We got our little tiny baby boulder wall in. So sometimes when you want to draw the eye to something, you have to take the eye away from something. 1, 2, and pop them in. I'm gonna lift my butt up, and hopefully I'll have just enough ability to see over this fence. All right, good morning, one and all. The aquascape team is gone, but not forgotten. They left on Thursday, so we wrapped this up. They completed it right on the day they wanted to, but that doesn't mean the work is done yet. It's been, this is Tuesday, so it's been 4 or 5 days since they've been gone, and I've been able to kind of see what's going on. Now, the pond is starting to clear up, but it would be a lot further along if we haven't been getting rainstorm after rainstorm after rainstorm. What's happening is the mud in the unfinished areas is washing into the pond. So just because the pond is done doesn't mean the work is done. We've got to go through now, and I've got to build up the grade over there, get that raised up, and then over here I want to get this grade built up as well so that I can fortify and strengthen this bank, and then do all the finished landscaping at the same time. So it's a busy day. Hopefully we'll wrap some of this stuff up, and once we get all of the grades set, then maybe when it rains, because we have rain coming in 2 days, when the rain comes, it won't keep washing into the pond, and that's why the pond isn't clean yet, because it starts to get clean, and then Mother Nature dumps all the mud back in, and then it starts to get clean, and Mother Nature dumps all of its mud back in. So let's get to it. We're gonna start to do some of the plantings. I wish my wife would not buy plants personally. And the reason is she always buys the cheapest, daintiest thing. She gets the healthiest one, but she gets the cheapest one. So instead of it looking finished when you're done, it looks like a thought of, hey, in 3 years, that's gonna look pretty good. Well, some of us don't wanna wait 3 years for a decent looking yard. I just wanna get it done and be done with it. But her and I think a bit different. She got a few things here for me to plant. That looks like a juniper, just a lot smaller. And this is called a jack pine, which I'm glad we got, because that's native to up in northern Minnesota there. We've got a lot of these. And, I mean, they're not the prettiest tree, but it just kind of reminds me of the area I grew up. And that was actually Ed's suggestion. Out of the blue, he just said, I think a jack pine would go good there. And I'm not going to argue. If I've got an opportunity to plant a jack pine and someone else says, I think that's a good idea, and then my wife goes ahead and does it, who am I to argue with those results, right, boys? Change of plans.
Gradient is not our friend.
Yeah, the rains and the mud for the last days and days is not our friend. We're slipping and sliding, just getting in. So I think we're gonna have to build this side up before we can drive in here.
Yeah, at least with anything.
All right, so let's you can back the car, you can back that out, save the sand. We're gonna need that. You can just shut that machine off, back it out. We need to get the boulder settings in here, and then we'll build this part of the road up right here. Why, you think that coupler is something wrong with it? I think it's just pressure, because we didn't have any problems when we dropped it off.
Yeah, but I got this whole line basically almost ready to fall off, and if it's not putting pressure through that, then it's something with the other connection.
So what's happening right now is the temperature's probably risen a bit since the last time we dropped this off. And for every 10 degrees that the temperature rises, it increases the pressure of your hydraulic lines. So,
It's not the bucket, I think it's the coupler on the excavator.
Well, that's a Zach thing, so I'll let him work on that part. Well, I gotta pick out the boulders and get them set up and ready to go. My thing is trying to keep ahead of the game. So while he does that, he'll be over here doing this. Nobody even be around in here. Keep talking. So here's one of the two things that I really screwed up when I was building this pond, is right here. I have this weird angled slope, and I fought it during the entire pond build, knowing that I had to put in a boulder retaining wall to level that grade out. I should have stuck the boulder retaining wall in the very first day and just gave myself a flat level ground to work on, instead of waiting until after the pond was done and then building the boulder wall. It would have just saved me so much time, energy, and effort. And the other thing I screwed up, well, I'll show you that in just a minute. But before I can install this boulder wall, I've got to demuck the area. We've had rain every single day this week, and it's just taken over everywhere. So the muck has to go. big bouldies there, do we?
How high you want to go with it?
Level.
Level with the pond?
Yeah, almost level, but I mean, we're gonna have a little bit of a taper down, but I think 4 bouldies at about, nah, they don't need to be that high.
Let's go level with the pond.
About a foot higher than the pond. Yeah, put sand over everything. Would it take us 3 hours to get to this point, Zach? We couldn't get in. It was the hill was too slimy. So we had to build this up. We did some boulder settings right here. Built this up, but to get this dirt, we had to go into the pile and dig down to Timbuktu because everything on top is just slime. Where was this in the winter when it could have turned to snow and I could have made money from this wet moistureness? So that's what I'm doing. That's what I've been doing. Digging down. But we finally got it to the point where we can maybe set a bouldy or two. Guys, let me share with you where we're at right now. The rough grades are in. I was using the excavator with the tilt bucket to help get these grades set. That was not finished grade by any means. We got the cast 33. We went up north to get it because we also have the Hydra bucket by CMP. The front of the bucket scoops, levels, grades. You can add material, you can subtract material. It's like a mullet. This bucket is a freaking mullet, right? It's business up front, party in the rear. Because check this out, baby. We got all the teeth. So once we get our dirt in, boom, we grade it up, we flip it up, we till it up.
As long as we don't got twine in it, then I don't got to dig it out from it.
We flip it, spin it, spank it, and put it where it goes. That's what she said. Boom, let's fire this bad boy up. We got about half the dirt used to get about a fourth of the way. So I think we got to switch our tactics up. Or go get more dirt. Huh? Or get more dirt. But let's just get this wrapped up. Let's see how this goes. I'm going to start fluffing it a titch lighter. If you want to start just spreading the grade in this, we got to get in all those zones over there. So.
Right.
Looking good. Minus the fact that we're completely out of black dirt and we're about halfway. Would you say about halfway? So as soon as you're done raking this out, hop in the truck, You'll get us the same amount that you got us the first time.
Are you thinking 3 will eat that up, or
3? Yeah, get 3 because then we'll have enough for some plantings and
extra and whatnot.
We'll throw the rest.
It's not like we don't have the room for it.
Yeah, we'll throw it in a garden or somewhere.
Better catch Frankie before he mows your entire yard with a 32-inch mower.
Frankie is out mowing on a 32-inch riding mower. If you haven't seen it, there's a video got coming out. This mower is. I love this little son of a duck. Look at him. He could have grabbed the 72-inch or the other 72-inch or the 60-inch. Nope, he's on the 32. Oh, Frank Burger. And there he just keeps going. Hey, Frankie! Do you like that mower?
Yeah, if it was light enough to go through that wet spot, you know, the wet, I didn't sink that bad or anything. Yeah, it cut good.
Cool. All right, well, I'm going to move these out of the way, and then I'm going to move the excavator up in there.
Okay, I'll mow that quick before you... Oh, yeah, no, go ahead.
Yeah, because I'm just going to cover it with dirt anyway. Okay. Yeah.
Here.
I'm going to put my blade behind me. I'm going to lift my butt up, and hopefully I'll have just enough ability to see over this fence right here. Because then I'm going to feed myself dirt. I gotta find dry dirt, and I'm gonna fortify this side. But I'm gonna do something for myself that I would never do for you guys, because you're just not supposed to, but I'll do it for me. I'm going to take a dead tree, and I'm gonna take there's a cool 3-prong section in that dead tree. I'm gonna sandwich that right into the bank and then fill over the top of it. What's gonna happen is that tree's gonna rot into the soil. And then I'm gonna plant bushes and shrubs all the way around that. So that's all going to incorporate back together. Top. I'd say let's see if we can't get her stuck in there some way, shape, or form. Thanks, Frankie. Oh, that's perfect. I just gotta get her nestled in without hitting the fence. No. All right, well, I'm gonna put you guys on hopper mode. So a lot of times you just can't see in your excavator, so you hop forward and then you run the controls behind you. It's not a big deal. So if you see somebody doing that, it's not really unheard of. Now I'm going to be burying this tree. I'm not going to be leaving it fully exposed. So I just want to get it into the bank. Come on, baby. Go into that bank. I want you to nestle in there. I want you to sleep right in that bank like you were washed away. I'm going to use it kind of like a retaining wall. That's why I was saying I would never do this for somebody else. You don't use a dead tree as a retaining wall. Come on, give me some room. Give me some room. Just get it nestled in that bank. Nestle in that bank. Nestle in there. I think that's gonna do it. I could pop a boulder or two in there to stabilize that. But I'm gonna bury that son of a duck. So this back slope happens to be probably one of my biggest mistakes I made on the pond. When I was initially doing the excavation, I hiked all of this soil out and stockpiled it in the backyard. I could have just moved it to this outer rim of the bank and fortified and built that bank up right out of the gate. It would have made my life a whole lot easier. Now I'm working with very limited visibility, and then Zach has to do the finish grading by hand. I could have done a lot of this stuff with a piece of equipment right out of the gate, but this is where hindsight is 20/20. But at this point, we're still not even close to being done with this pond project. We've still got all of the finished landscaping to make this thing finally look complete. So let's jump on that next. Some of you guys may be asking, is it better to lay it this way or this way? Blah, 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 but that's what I get for thinking. It's better to lay it this way. I got lazy and I did it this way. So just level out the...
Yeah, all your dog prints?
You can do it this way. It requires more of these things. I'm gonna give the camera to him. You're heading to Magnuson. When we come back, we're gonna reconvene, put our straw blanket down, plant that slope, get this area set up, sod it, staple it, 6-way staples.
I'm just gonna staple it until we run out of staples, and then you're gonna go buy more staples.
But you get them at Magnuson, so you might want to grab a carton of staples.
We still got like 1,000 case from the last time. I don't think we even went through a 10th.
Okay, perfect. If I'm not back by the time you're back, which I should be, we have to rake this out before we start sodding.
All right,
just so you know.
Yeah, just rake it so it's at least fluffed up again.
Level out the...
Yeah, all your dog prints?
Yeah, my dog prints from those two. Frickin' frack, yin and yang, the Terror Twins.
All right, so we made it to Magnuson. This place is freaking tighter than tight. My whole yard could fit in this place. Picking up an order for Dirt Monkey or Stan, or I don't know what do you put it under. For it's like a pallet or so. I was gonna say either it's on file or something.
I sorry. I just have to win.
Yeah. Every type of shovel and tool you could think of. Hopefully we can fit one full pallet and 26 rolls on the back of this truck. Stan was like, no, you don't need to bring the trailer. The place is too tight. And yeah, it's a tight place. I probably wouldn't have been able to fit. I would have probably been waiting behind some other cars, but at least I would have been able to get it all in one load.
I guarantee you I could have fit that entire load in, but nope, Zach couldn't do it. He had to take 2 trips, which is fine. I'd rather have him be safe than sorry and complain and then have him go down the road and have an accident and go, well, you said I could do it. So he did use better judgment.
Your call has been forwarded to voicemail. The person you're trying to reach is not available. At the tone, please record your message. When you have finished recording...
Can never get a hold of you ever, can we?
That's because some of us are busy working and not talking on the phone. Zach talks so much, nobody even has to be around and he'll be talking.
We got it strapped down half-assedly. Yeah, that's all I had for straps. Thought I had more on board, but we've been moving a lot of stuff the last couple of days. Everything got fixed. Yeah. This place is busy nuts, and hopefully I can make it back and not lose anything. This place is nutso here. I wish I would have brought the trailer because it is just nuts here.
Magnuson is nuts. It's crazy, it's tight, it's busy, and I didn't want Zach's first time being there, being with a trailer and getting boxed in.
Bumper to bumper, everybody here. You got crazy civilians like this dude here. And hopefully we make it back to Stan's, and I gotta come back for another pallet because, again, didn't bring the trailer, and 27 ain't gonna fit on here. If we had no toolbox and bulk tank, sure.
To get those extra sod rolls on, that's when you start stuffing your truck like a burrito in every nook and cranny.
But yeah, we're off. Alright, so we got back with the first load, got it offloaded, and we're gonna get that one put inside so that way Frankie can get doing stuff. So
Frankie is 63 years old and still one of the hardest workers in our entire company. The only people that can keep up with Frankie are Alex, Tim, me, and Zach if I yell at him enough. Well, typical Frankie style. Zach ran to get the second pallet of sod, and he's already got this all laid out, which is awesome.
I got this cut in even, except around that.
And I gotta run and get the quick grass turf establishment blanket because I forgot it. Here's some of the stuff I did pick up from Gerton's. We're gonna be placing this, popping some of this stuff in, and then we're gonna head to Gerton's and grab the quick grass turf establishment blanket right now. All right guys, this is Gerton's. Definitely not the cheapest place in the cities to get your materials that you need, but also definitely the best place with the widest selection, variety of different types of stuff, specialty stuff that you may need. This is just their brickyard. Down over there is their wholesale nursery, and then on the other side of the road is their retail nursery. This place is absolutely massive, so it gets super busy in here just because It's a one-stop shop. Convenience. You pay for convenience, but you're paying more than you would at one of the smaller shops or one of the other places that you could go to get stuff. But I tell you, if you need it, Gerton's has it. And you will pay a little bit more than you would other places for it. But hey, you know what? It is what it is. I'm going to sneak through. Sneaking through, boys. Let's see. I got double-sided, they call it straw blanket. I think it's right there. And if I knew it was only 8 foot, I wouldn't have bothered with the trailer. I thought they were 12-foot rolls. Is this mine? Didn't need a trailer for that. Blah, 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 blah. But that's what I get for thinking. All right, let's get her back and get that landscaping done. It's already noon. And real quick, this is not a plug for Gerton's. Here's their retail side. I'm just showing you. And the reason I say it's not a plug for Gerton's is because I pay the same exorbitant prices that everybody else pays. But this place is just insane. Just the value of the real estate in Inver Grove Heights, how much land they have, is insane. This business is worth a lot of money. When he's done making buku bucks selling green plants to green thumbs, he'll just sell the land to a developer, and him and the next 3 generations of his family will retire. Guys, let's take a quick peek at what this is and what makes it work so well. So this is a double-sided straw blanket, and it's got straw interwoven, and then you can see it's got this fine netting, and what that does, perfect for seeding especially, you have to staple this to the soil, and it creates that bedding environment, retains the moisture, and allows the plants to just start to pop underneath it, and it controls erosion. So this whole thing doesn't just get laid in. Now I've got to go through and zing, 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 staple it in so that it's secure to the slope. But it really helps. It's not a guarantee that it'll stop erosion, but it does help out a lot. I add some up there, some there, then we can start the plantings. Just putting it in place don't count. It's got to be stapled, and this is called a sod staple. It's meant to staple sod to the ground when you're putting sod on slopes, or you need to put sod for some other reason. But this stuff needs to be stapled every 3 square feet or tighter, or it just don't count. The first rain you got is going to wash it down. Some of you guys may be asking, is it better to lay it this way or this way? It's better to lay it this way. I got lazy and I did it this way. You can do it this way. It requires more of these things. Okay, so we're doing the plantings through the quick grass surface attachment blanket or straw blanket. And it's okay to put the dirt on top in this situation. Now every situation is gonna vary, but in my yard, I want the dirt on top. That's gonna help staple and get this straw blanket to incorporate right back in. And yeah, when it rains, and it's gonna pour rain tonight, it's gonna wash some of this stuff down, but it's going to wash the dirt through and into the straw matting. It's going to incorporate that straw blanket deeper into the slope. We've got animals here, we've got cats, we've got dogs, we've got birds, we've got Zach, we've got every kind of creature that you can possibly imagine. Even the Frankfurter's up there, he walks on this. So the more that this matting, this netting is incorporated down into the slope, the better that that's going to stitch that slope together. So I've got zero issue just by putting it in, especially on the edges, around the edges. It's great to put that in on the edges. In this situation, just use your common sense for whatever you're doing. I was sitting in the office of a big contractor. I mean, this guy did 20, 30, 50, $100 million projects, massive projects. And a simple white sign said, "How do you eat an elephant?" in big black letters. I'm going, what the heck does that even mean? So it just made me ponder, how do you eat an elephant? And then it was one bite at a time. So when this guy was tackling massive projects, he would just calm down and say, you eat an elephant one bite at a time. And that's what we did today. We basically got through, we got this side done. We've got a finished planting. We're not completely wrapped up. I got a jack pine here. I got to figure out where that goes. I got to get some snow on the mountain transplanted from the front to the back, cover up that slope. I've got to do probably more snow on the mountain or something in here. Then we've got to do all the landscaping around the outside of the pond, get that in, and we're trying to work our way inside out. So that's what I'm talking about, one bite at a time. All right, you guys, I opened this video by saying I never wanted this pond. That was my first mistake. I just assumed that a pond would not even be close to like living on a lake. I enjoy this pond more than I do living on a lake. That's just me. Maybe you're different. The other thing that I would do differently is I would make this pond so much bigger, so much more enormous. I don't think I can stress that point enough to you guys. The other thing that I would do different is right out of the gate, when they say that you don't have to hike your pond materials off, your excavation materials off, I would have realized that I could have used 100% of the fill from here to fortify this slope and built this out right away, right out of the gate, and done it with a machine instead of doing it by hand over the top of the fence. So I made some fundamental mistakes in the very beginning that I would change, and I hope you guys enjoyed watching the process of this pond getting built. I did tell you the price, and I did say that it would be $150G, and that is including all of the plants and everything that you see done to this point. So that is a complete turnkey package. So you can get a pond like this for a lot less money if you're willing to do a lot of the work yourself, or you're willing to compromise on the size of some of the stones that you use. You're not so picky about the actual materials that go in place, and you just want that feel that Mother Nature has dropped something special in your lap. Well, you can still accomplish that without quite that much of a budget. It's just a matter of what you need, absolutely, and what things that you can give up on your own. But that's it for this video. I know this is probably it is the longest video I've ever put out, but I wanted something, guys, that I could have you guys turn on, go cook yourself dinner, come back, see how progress is made, just leave on in the background, and just enjoy watching the process. And I hope I accomplished that today. That's all I've got for you on this one. If there's anything of value or if anything you'd like to see, let me know in the comments down below, and I'll work at that. And if you do enjoy some of these longer videos, like I did a longer one for Milwaukee Tools, this is my absolute longest one. If you do enjoy these videos, let me know in the comments down below. That's it for this one. God bless, and go get them, you guys, except for something is going really crazy down here in the corner. What is that, a fish? Yeah, what kind of fish is that? I don't even know what kind of fish that is. It's got stripes. It looks like a striped, I can't even see it. Can you guys see it? I find some of the craziest stuff in here, but I just go to the bait store and I'm like, fill up the bucket, give me everything you got, and then I throw it in here. I've got hundreds of crawdads, and I've got every sort of thing you can possibly imagine living in this pond because I want it to. That's what makes these things fun. Best landscaping thing I've ever done. Hands down, now that I've lived with it, I should have done this years ago and not waited. That's it for this one. God bless. Go get them, you guys. If you're thinking about doing a pond, just do it. Just do it. It's worth it. Every single bit of it. It is legitimately the best investment I think you can make. I mean, you know, you get older as a guy, you think, all right, I could get myself a race car, or I could do this, I could do that, or you could get yourself a pond. I would do that. The hours and time you spend makes it all worthwhile. God bless. Go get them, you guys. Catch you on another one. Thanks for hanging out.